Imagine stepping outside on a freezing morning. Suddenly, tiny bumps rise across your arms. But cold isn't the only trigger. A frightening sound can do it. So can a powerful song. Even a memory can send chills across your skin. And here's the strange part. For modern humans, goosebumps don't seem very useful. They barely help us stay warm. They don't make us look much bigger. So why does your body still create them? The answer lies beneath your skin, and millions of years in our evolutionary past. Goosebumps have a scientific name: piloerection. The mechanism begins around each tiny hair on your body. Every hair grows from a structure called a hair follicle. Attached to many follicles is an extremely small muscle. It's called the erector pili muscle. Most of the time, this muscle remains relaxed. The hair rests close to the surface of your skin. But certain signals can suddenly make the muscle contract. When it contracts, the hair is pulled upright. The surrounding skin is pulled slightly inward as well. That creates the familiar little bump. Multiply this across thousands of hairs, and suddenly your entire arm looks different. But you didn't consciously tell those muscles to move. Try ordering your arm to produce goosebumps right now. For most people, nothing happens. That's because the reaction is largely automatic. It involves your autonomic nervous system. This system manages processes you rarely think about. Your heart rate is influenced by it. So is sweating. And so are many rapid responses to your environment. Goosebumps belong to this automatic world. One of their most familiar triggers is cold. Walk into freezing air and your body notices immediately. Temperature. Sensitive systems detect that conditions have changed. Your body begins working to protect its internal temperature. Blood vessels near the skin can narrow. Muscles may eventually begin shivering. And those tiny muscles around your hairs can contract. Your hairs rise. Goosebumps appear. But this creates an obvious question. How could tiny upright hairs possibly keep us warm? On modern humans, they mostly can't. To understand their original value, look at furry animals. Imagine an animal covered in a thick coat. When its hairs rise, the coat becomes more expanded. More air can become trapped among those hairs. That trapped air can help reduce heat loss. It's a simple form of insulation. Humans still activate a similar mechanism. We just don't have the same thick coat anymore. Now imagine our distant ancestors. Their bodies were considerably hairier than ours today. For them, raising body hair could have been more useful. Cold air arrives. The hairs rise. A layer of insulating air becomes easier to maintain. The effect wouldn't replace shelter or other ways of staying warm. But even modest advantages can matter in harsh environments. And cold wasn't the only situation where raised hair mattered. Imagine an animal suddenly facing a predator. Its nervous system detects danger. The body prepares for immediate action. Heart rate increases. Muscles become ready to move. And the animal's fur may suddenly stand upright. You've probably seen this happen with a frightened cat. Its back arches. Its tail expands. Its fur stands dramatically away from its body. The animal suddenly appears larger than it did seconds earlier. That visual change can be useful during a confrontation. Looking bigger may make an opponent hesitate. Similar piloerection occurs across many furry mammals, and humans retain the underlying machinery. Imagine the same response on a much hairier human ancestor. Danger appears nearby. The sympathetic nervous system becomes highly active. Body hair rises across the skin. The individual's outline may become slightly more imposing. Today, however, something is missing. The thick fur our muscles still pull. Our hairs still rise. But there isn't enough body hair to create the old visual effect.
Observe the thinning hair, marking the evolutionary transition to...
This brings us to an important chapter in human evolution. Our lineage gradually became much less furry. Exactly why human body hair changed involves several evolutionary pressures. Thermoregulation likely played an important role. Early humans became highly effective at sustained physical activity. Moving for long periods generates enormous amounts of heat, and overheating can become dangerous surprisingly quickly. Humans developed an extraordinary ability to cool themselves by sweating. Sweat works best when it can evaporate from the skin. Dense body fur can interfere with that process. Over evolutionary time, reduced body hair could support efficient cooling. But evolution doesn't redesign an organism from scratch. It modifies structures that already exist. Body hair became dramatically reduced, yet hair follicles remained. The tiny erector pili muscles remained too, and the nervous pathways controlling them remained functional, so the ancient reaction never completely disappeared.
Hi there!
This is why goosebumps can feel almost pointless today. They're part of machinery inherited from a different kind of body. But then the story becomes stranger. Because cold isn't required. Neither is a predator. Sometimes all you need is music. You're sitting comfortably in a warm room. Headphones cover your ears. A familiar song begins quietly. Nothing unusual happens at first. Then the melody starts building. The singer reaches a powerful moment. The harmony suddenly changes. Your chest tightens slightly. A chill travels down your spine, and goosebumps spread across your arms. Your body has reacted as though something important just happened. Yet physically, you're completely safe. This experience is often described as musical chills or frisson. It can also happen during movies, speeches, or powerful memories. A sudden emotional revelation may trigger it. So can an unexpected change in music. A voice entering at exactly the right moment can be enough. Even remembering an intense experience may sometimes bring the sensation back. Why? Because emotional experiences aren't confined to abstract thoughts. Your brain constantly communicates with the rest of your body. Powerful emotions can alter your heart rate. They can change your breathing. They can make your palms sweat. And they can influence the same autonomic systems involved in goosebumps. Researchers have linked pleasurable musical chills with activity in brain reward networks. Expectation appears to be especially important. Your brain constantly predicts what might happen next. Music plays with those predictions. A melody establishes a pattern. Your brain begins anticipating its continuation. Then the music delays, breaks, or unexpectedly fulfills that expectation. The emotional impact can become surprisingly intense. Reward-related brain systems become involved. Physiological arousal can rise. And sometimes your skin joins the experience. But not everyone gets musical goosebumps equally often. Some people experience them frequently. Others rarely notice them at all. The exact response varies between individuals and situations. Personal memories can influence it. Attention can influence it. Familiarity with a song may matter too. And the emotional meaning of the moment can completely change the response. This reveals something important about goosebumps. The visible bumps aren't really the main event there. An outward sign of processes happening inside your nervous system. Cold can activate those processes. Fear can activate them. Powerful emotion can activate them too. Different triggers can converge on a surprisingly similar physical response. So why hasn't evolution simply removed goosebumps? Because evolution doesn't automatically erase every feature that becomes less useful. A trait must affect survival or reproduction, enough for natural selection to strongly reshape it. A mostly harmless leftover can persist for an extremely long time, especially when its biological machinery remains connected to useful systems. Your erector pili muscles therefore continue doing their tiny job. Most days you never notice them. Then cold air hits your skin. Or fear catches you by surprise. Or a song reaches exactly the right moment. And an ancient mechanism suddenly becomes visible. Those tiny bumps may seem meaningless on a nearly hairless human body, but they connect your modern nervous system to a much hairier evolutionary past. Millions of years later, the fur is mostly gone, but the reaction is still written into your skin.